When the Malaysian My Second Home program, known as the MM2H, was launched in 2002, it became an attractive retirement visa for many foreigners. However, in 2021, requirements for this visa became pretty difficult to meet, making it less eligible for many.
Luckily, at the end of 2023, the My Second Home program has been revised again. And in this video, we are going to see what these changes are. Plus, we're going to have a closer look at the requirements for the My Second Home program for the states of Sarawak and Saba, known as the SMM2H. Their requirements are different and might be a better option for you.
And if you're thinking, I'm not retired yet, make sure you keep watching because the minimum age for the My Second Home program is 30 years.
First of all, let us briefly explain what the My Second Home program for Malaysia is. The Malaysia My Second Home program is similar to the retirement visa and is designed for foreigners who want to stay in Malaysia on a long-term basis without employment. The goal of this program is to boost the Malaysian economy, of course.
It's a multi-entry visa and is valid for 10 years. Other benefits that come with this visa are that you can buy property, spouses and children can also be included in this program, dependents can go to school, there are tax benefits, and you are able to register a limited company in Malaysia.
If you apply for the MM2H, you can only reside in the peninsula of Malaysia. So you cannot use this program if you want to live in the states of Sabah or Sarawak. These two states have their own My Second Home program.
So when the MM2H was initially introduced in 2002, the requirements to obtain it was pretty doable for many and it became very popular. For instance, in the very beginning, the minimum monthly income for an applicant had to be 10,000 ringgit. However, this changed in 2021 to 40,000 ringgit. So as you can imagine, the number of applicants decreased considerably.
But luckily, there has been some major adjustments in December 2023. To be eligible for the MM2H, you need to be at least 30 years old, spend a minimum of 60 days in Malaysia if you are between 30 or 49 years old, have a Malaysian fixed deposit account with either a minimum balance of 500,000 ringgit, 2 million ringgit or 5 million ringgit.
Previously, it used to be 1 million ringgit and you would get 10 years residency. However, with this new 3-tier system, you can go for silver, which gives you 5 years renewable residency, gold for 15 years renewable residency, and platinum, which will give you possibility for a permanent residency.
For all 3 tiers, you can use up to 50% of your fixed deposit after 1 year to buy property, for instance, or use it for medical and tourism in Malaysia.
Unlike the previous years, when applying for an MM2H now, you don't need to have a proof of a minimal offshore monthly income or liquid assets. This is a positive thing for many who wish to live in Malaysia.
However, this, let's say, new version of the MM2H is for a 1-year trial. So a lot of changes can happen in the upcoming months, of course.
Also, it is still unclear if applicants are allowed to earn an income through remote working. So we are not sure if it is possible to live in Malaysia but work for or have a company in another country. So if you are in your 30s or 40s like us, you will need a source of income if you don't receive a pension yet.
With all that said, it does seem like the Malaysian government wants change and with the new requirements aims to target a larger group of foreigners. But remember, not all is set in stone and the whole MM2H program can still be unclear and confusing for individuals. So we'll see.
So besides the MM2H that allows you to live long-term in all states on the Malaysian peninsula only, you also have the SMM2H. With this visa you can reside in Sarawak only.
So what are the requirements of the SMM2H? You can apply for this type of visa. If you are between 30 and 49 years old, own a residential house in Sarawak of at least 600,000 ringgit, or have children under 21 years old who are enrolled in a school in Sarawak. These requirements are, however, not required if you are above 50 years old.
Other requirements are you must stay in Sarawak for a minimum of 30 days, have a monthly income such as pension, salary or rental income of 7,000 ringgit, have a fixed deposit of 150,000 ringgit. You are allowed to withdraw 40% of this fixed deposit after 2 years for a car, house, education or medical expenses, and the remaining deposit must remain on the deposit until you exit the program.
It is important to know that if you are under 50 years old, you are not allowed to work in Malaysia. You are allowed to work overseas. We are not sure if remote working is allowed, as we couldn't find the exact details on this.
Additionally, applicants must be sponsored by a Malaysian citizen from Sarawak or a permanent resident from Sarawak. An MM2H agent is not allowed. However, double check if this is really the case, because we also found information that you can use an agent as a sponsor as well.
So, as you can imagine, the Sarawak program became very interesting for many foreigners when the MM2H became almost impossible to get. The required monthly income for the SMM2H was, for instance, only 7,000 ringgit compared to the 40,000 ringgit for the MM2H. And the fixed deposit was also doable.
But the most important detail was the minimum number of days you had to be in Sarawak. It is only 30 days. So what SMM2H holders would do was apply for this visa, stay for a month in Sarawak and live the other 11 months in Kuala Lumpur or Penang.
It isn't illegal to do so, it is just how you interpreted the requirements that benefit you. But since the whole Sarawak My Second Home program was designed to boost the economy in Sarawak, the government there are, if not already, making changes such as staying in Sarawak longer than the current 30 days. But of course, if you do wish to live in Sarawak, which we can fully understand, then it is less difficult and much faster to get the SMM2H.
We also heard that Saba has started their own My Second Home program too. However, the exact official requirements might change slightly over time. So far, we found out that the minimal fixed deposit is far less than the other two My Second Home programs, but you have to prove that you have visited Saba a couple of times before actually applying for this program. It seems like in Saba they really want foreigners who have genuinely fell in love with this part of Malaysia, which we fully understand.
To apply, you must have an income of 10,000 ringgit per month. And if you are younger than 50, you need to show liquid assets with a minimum of 500,000 ringgit. For those above 50, it's 350,000 ringgit. You must have a fixed deposit in Saba of 150,000 ringgit. And if you are older than 50 years old, it is 300,000 ringgit. You are allowed to withdraw up to 50,000 ringgit after 1 year and 150,000 ringgit when you're plus 50 years old. But like the other programs, the expenses must be for a house or a car purchase, education for the kids, or some things like medical purposes.
Like we said earlier, the information on the Saba My Second Home program doesn't seem to be as official as the other two programs. But at least you know that the option is there if you want to move to this part of Malaysia.
So we have come to the end of this video. We hope we have given you a good insight about the possibilities of the Malaysian My Second Home program. As mentioned, the requirements can change pretty quick, so make sure you keep updated if you're seriously thinking of getting into this program.
Also, it can take months to obtain this type of visa, so patience is important. For the SMM2H, it can be around 4 months, while for the MM2H, it can be much longer. There are all kinds of stories where people had to wait for a whole year.
Thank you so much for watching this video till the very end. If you liked it, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel.
If you have any suggestions, ideas, questions, or just want to leave a message, then we are happy to read them in the comment section below. For now, have a great day and till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.